So, it is a couple of days later now. Christmas is already behind us, and this beautiful painting is still not finished. But that is okay. Thank goodness I chose something that is not too Christmassy. So from now on I consider this painting to be a winter painting. And well, it will be on the internet forever, I think. So next year we will call this one a Christmas painting. What I've been doing while I was not painting is looking at some pictures that I took. And the last thing that I did, painting the dark shadow here, really worked, I think. And I'm going to add more of this ivory black here on the tree trunk, and here there's a little indentation that I don't want to have here. I don't think this is working, so I am going to make this more straight just by adding paint. So that's what I'm going to do, adding more of that black. Now I have a bad memory, so which one did I use putting on all the black? I can't remember, but let's try the Pentel. I will put the camera a little bit closer so it's easier for you to see, and I will sit down. And today I'm so happy with my studio lamps, because we have a very dark cloud right now, and these studio lamps really help to create a better light here in the Passion Fruit Pencils headquarters. So here I have the ivory black. I'm adding water to it so the paint activates. Now I'm going to add that black here onto the paper with not much water, because I want to create some sort of texture. And with this, I call it a dry brush technique. It seems to work. I don't know if this is truly a dry brush technique. I figure those painting techniques out myself. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, because there are many very good artists who have wonderful videos about painting techniques. But I must say, what I love most is just start painting and start exploring, and then in the end you will discover a lot of things, a lot of techniques. A little bit more here. Let's see. Well, we're getting somewhere. Maybe you can hear that in the background. That was fireworks. There it is again. This year fireworks are forbidden, but many people, many young people, they play with the fireworks anyway. Here in the Netherlands it is normally okay to buy fireworks and ignite it yourself. I believe there are many countries where that is not allowed, but here normally it is. But this year it's a strange year, and the government decided to not allow fireworks because well, they want to keep it quiet on New Year's Eve. I hope that is going to work. I don't think so, actually. Okay, well, let's change the camera a little bit. And let's take a look at the birdhouse, because the birdhouse looks a bit pale. So I think I need to do a little bit more work on the wood, the color of the wood. And I think I want to intensify these shadows also. I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm going for the Pentel brush, the smallest one in the set that I have. And I am going for that same ivory black. I've already used it here, and I really love the warmth and the depth that slowly appears with all these layers working together. Nope. Dropping my brush. I'm adding a little bit more water to the paint. Let's see. Yeah, that works better. This year we had 3 days of Christmas parties. Normally in the Netherlands we have 2, first Christmas Day and second Christmas Day. And then the tradition is in our family that one day we go to my family and the other day we go to my husband's family. But this year we cannot get together with large groups. So first Christmas Day we had my parents, my in-laws, my parents-in-law with us. Second Christmas Day we went to see my sister-in-law and her family. And third Christmas Day we had my parents over for a nice Christmas dinner. And right now we are all hoping that the numbers will not explode. The virus numbers. It's strange. It's a strange world, but I think as long as we concentrate on the things that we love to do, as far as we are able to do them right now, I think, well, we should get through this. And I've been thinking a lot about the passion for pencils YouTube channel, because I will have to make some improvements. The first step that I took was a new camera arm that I'm using, and I'm learning to use it, and that's going better and better. The second step was to buy studio lamps, and they are on right now. I'm pretty happy with them, goes well. And the third step now is about the videos themselves, the content, what they are about, the editing, so how the videos look. Let's add a touch of that black stuff here, and I'm going to dilute that because this is way too strong, I think. Let's dilute it. I'm slowly building. Whenever I'm not confident about how to do it with painting, I go slow, step by step, light layers, and then most of the time I will find my way. That looks a bit too much, and I see that while looking on the screen of the camera, I think this is too much. How about that? That is better. So I'm going to do exactly the same here, because these extra black, the tiny amount of black that is still there is actually working. So I'm going to do exactly the same here. Just putting on the black, let it sit, and then take off whatever there is too much. Yes, so right now I am thinking about how to further improve the Passion for Pencils channel, and I think it's really necessary to do that. I'm becoming more and more convinced that I really need to do that. YouTube has evolved in such a great way the last couple of years. When I started out, it was a platform full of just video enthusiasts like me, just to do whatever with a phone, and just a little bit amateuristic, and it was fun. But the platform has changed, and I think I need to change to improve myself, because the platform has improved itself. So this is only shadow, so again I will have to take off the excess amount of paint. Okay. Now let's take a look at the wood, because the wood to me is a little bit too flat. Let's start out with a touch of green, and I'm going to use that green that I've already used here, olive green, and it's this one. Let's check it. Yeah, it's this one, olive green. And again, I'm going to use a dry brush technique. Just putting it on here and there. Just make it look a little bit more messy. And now I think I need a darker tone. I think I will mix burnt umber. Burnt umber is over here. I think I need to mix it with something else. Let's see, let's put it here. Let's add a touch of that black, just a touch of it. Ah, that goes well. A little bit more. A little bit of the burnt umber. This is a nice dark, rich brown tone. Let's see. Cleaning the brush, because now I'm going to work that paint a little bit. Need a little bit more here. Well, a little bit over here. I'm adding a touch of olive green. I'm mixing a little bit more of that black with burnt umber. I must say this mixture is quite staining. So once I put it on the paper, and then once it has dried, it's difficult to reactivate it again, as I found out here. But hey, okay, let's add a touch of that dark tone here, because I think here we will have a lot of darkness. Cleaning the brush so I can work the paint. Creating a feeling of shadow a little bit. Going to add a touch of black here and there. Okay, this looks much more interesting. Now these lines here. These lines indicate that there is a shadow in between these two pieces of wood. How am I going to do that? Let's try this same mixture. And let's see what happens if I add a touch of that color here just on top of this ink line, because this ink line to me is a little bit too harsh and too thin. I'm looking for a new tissue. They are here in my drawer. I'm going back to that ivory black because I want a little bit more depth here and there. Okay, not bad at all. I'm happy. I'm learning a lot. I can tell you that. I'm really, really learning a lot. Now I think here underneath the snow there is this the roof, and I think there should be a little bit of darkness here, but this is going to be a gamble. I hope this is going to work. Let's just see what happens if I add a touch of that mixture of burnt umber and ivory black here and there. Would that work? Yes, I think it does. Adding a touch of that ivory black. I think this is working. Okay, let's take a step back. Yeah. Okay, this is going well. I'm learning so much, and that is, I love learning things. I love it. So, next thing I'm going to do is to work on the leaves. These branches, I have to make a decision about the color. They cannot stay white, that is quite clear. And then these birds, they need a little bit more detail, but I must confess I'm a little bit hesitant about it because I really do not have experience with adding detail to a bird. And you know, with all the feathers and the things, I'll have to figure that out, but we'll get there. So let's see. I'm going to add a little bit more darkness here in the areas. Here just on the rooftop below the snow. And I'm going to pick ivory black again, because that color really works for me in this painting. So let's add water to it. I have to squeeze. Let's pick this brush, because this is the Arteza brush and it releases water much more easily than the Pentel one. So just one drop. That's going to work just wonderfully. Let's start here. Tonight it is what we call in the Netherlands Oudejaarsavond, Old Year's Eve. It's the 31st of December, and normally we get together with family or friends, and this year it's going to be a little bit different because in previous years we have had quite large gatherings. Not every year, but some of the years. But this year that is really not going to happen. We will see a couple of family members, but we need to be very careful. And here in the Netherlands we have this commercial on radio and TV, and it suggests, normally we say Happy New Year, but with what is happening right now with the virus, we know that at least the first half of next year will be very difficult in many areas of the world. So in this commercial they suggested that we do not wish each other Happy New Year, but a happier New Year. And that, I think, is just a great idea, a happier New Year. Because we know it's not going to be perfect next year. There will be trouble. And let's change the position of the camera a little bit. Unfortunately, something went wrong with the recording, so you are missing a couple of minutes. What I did, I added a little bit more of ivory black here in this shaded area, and I'm going to put a little bit more here and there, just below the snow, just to increase the sense of shadow. So this is ivory black again, and in this painting it's working for me. Oh, this is a little bit too much on the brush. And today it is the 31st of December, so the last day of the year, and yeah, it's a little bit different this year. Normally the Dutch love to play with fireworks, but this year it's forbidden to buy it, sell it, or just have it. So it's going to be a quiet, it's going to be a quiet night. Tonight we call Oudejaarsavond, Old Year's Eve. And it's a tradition in the Netherlands to get together with friends and family. And I'm sure that is going to happen tonight, but not on the large scale that we normally do. That is just not wise to do. So, well, here in the Netherlands there is a commercial that says, why not wish each other a happier new year for 2021? Because we know the first 6 months of the next year will still be very difficult, and afterwards, you know, trouble will come for many people with work, businesses, with the virus, illness. Well, so they say, do not wish each other a happy new year, but a happier new year. And I like that idea. You wish each other something good, but you are not ignorant of the situation. Let's see. I need a slightly darker tone green for these leaves. What should I do? Well, I started coughing like crazy. And then you think, normally you think, well, I'm just coughing, but in these times you think, oh my goodness. But I feel normal. So I think this was just a coughing attack. What I'm doing here, this is olive green. I'm trying to go slow with this extra layer of slightly darker green, and I want to create something that looks like veins in a leaf. Yeah, there's a little bit of a cough still. These leaves look a little bit strange. While sketching them, I was not, I think, not precise enough to check if the shape of the leaves correct. But for this painting, it's not a big deal to me. Drawing and coloring and painting has really helped me to let go of perfectionism, and that truly is a liberation. I'm going to add a touch of Payne's grey here because there will be some sort of a shadow here. And add a little bit of extra green, and then again Payne's grey. I really let go of perfectionism in when it comes to painting, and that is such a relief to no longer battle the idea that everything has to be perfect. So these leaves, they look a bit strange, but that is fine with me. I will tackle the art of creating leaves in another painting. That's okay. My voice is still a little bit hoarse. There is, for some reason, there is mucus on my vocal cords. I can feel that. Maybe it's my vocal cords telling me that I should start singing again. I am a voice teacher, but I must say I haven't done a lot of singing lately. Normally we are very busy with in Christmas time with concerts and performances, but not this year. Let's squeeze the brush a little bit. So, what are your traditions in your country when it comes to New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? I would love to hear. So let's take a step back, and this is it. It does work, I have to say. Just creating these veins, leave some space for these lighter veins. So I'm going to do exactly the same here. Picking up a little bit of paint. I realized that I forgot something, because here I think there should be some sort of a vein here as well, but I don't think I will be able to fix that. So as you can see, it is quite a slow process creating these leaves. But lucky for me, I love every brush stroke that I put on the paper. I just love the feeling of the paint on the paper, how it reacts to the paper, how it moves around. So I really don't mind that this is a slow process at all. You can speed up the process though. For example, if you use masking fluid, you might speed this up, because then first you put masking fluid on top of the leaf where you want to create those veins. You let that dry, and then you add the darker green, and once that has dried, you take away the you peel off the masking fluid, and then you have a lighter vein as well. And that is much easier, because then you don't have to be so precise. But as I mentioned earlier, I always have trouble using masking fluid, so I try not to use it. But that doesn't mean that you should not use it. Many watercolor artists use it, so it's good stuff, but I haven't found my way with it yet. As you can see, my band-aid is a mess again. That happened so quickly. I put on a new band-aid, I wash my hands 2-3 times, and bam, it's a mess. Now I need to do the other leaves, but first I feel a little bit bored, so why not do something else first? I'm going to look at the wings of this great tit, and when I look at the great tit here in the book, I hope you can see there's a white line here, and the leaves are kind of blue, or the wings are kind of bluish. So I will go to that indanthrene blue that I've been using already, and that is this one here. It looks very dark when it's dry, but let's put it here. Here it is. I need a teeny tiny bit. Let's put the camera a little bit closer. I'm switching to another brush. This is a Pentel brush, and only Arteza brush, because I need a little bit more water. Switching back. I'm barely touching the paper. And there is blue in the tail as well, so let's continue this. This area is absolutely not perfect, I admit. This is Payne's Grey to add a touch of shadow here. But it's okay, I'm learning, it's okay. That is what I say to myself many times. It's okay to make a mistake, no problem at all. Absolutely no problem. Now I will go for the raw umber because I need that one. Did you hear that? That was fireworks. Now normally on the 31st of December you hear fireworks all day long. And this is the first fireworks that I hear today. Most people didn't buy it because it's forbidden this year. Now there's something with the black in the head. It is too flat, so I'm going to add blue, indanthrene blue, just a touch of it. Not that the head is blue, but we need a little bit of depth in the color. And this is exactly the reason why many artists prefer to create their own dark colors, so not black from a tube or from a pan, but creating a very dark color by mixing multiple colors. But I'm just going to do that here on the paper. So I had indanthrene blue, and here I have burnt umber, just a touch of it. A little bit more blue. I think that looks much better.